2012 is the year of the bracelet at Red Panda Beads. Each month I am designing a new bracelet based on the color of that month's birthstone. Each month there will be a new instructional video and kit with the supplies available to make the bracelet on the Red Panda Beads website. The birthstone for February is Amethyst. I used 5 different amethyst crystals to create this bracelet. I also used Mayuki's new Duracoat Rocales to accent and highlight the crystals. The bracelet is actually 9 strands that are grouped together, 3 strands at a time, to take advantage of this 3-strand slide clasp. Okay, let's start by reviewing the components that I used to create the bracelet. All of the crystals are Precosa 4mm bicone crystals. The first ones here are amethyst. Next I added amethyst AB, and the AB stands for Aurora Borealis. It's a nice rainbow coating that gives the crystals an extra sparkly effect. The next ones are light amethyst, and then the light amethyst AB, and then light amethyst matte. These crystals have a frosted appearance and add nice texture to the design. Next I used Mayuki Rocale beads. These are size 15, and these are the new Duracoat finish that Mayuki came out with to resist fade and wear, and it won't tarnish. And then paired with that, I used one of the new Duracoat colors in the size 8 that complements the crystals. So between the size 8 and the size 15, there's some nice texture going on with the bracelet and the crystals. I used bead caps to attach the strands to the clasp, and the clasp is a 3-strand multi-clasp. I used Spiderwire to assemble the bracelet and a big eye needle, and I also used bead stoppers. These come in really handy when you're working with multiple strands and lots of beads, and a stop bead just is too cumbersome to try and work with. You can clip these on and off. They work really great. Bead caps are functional findings. They're clamshell shaped, and they come together and hide the knot that attaches your beadwork to your clasp. Here is one. You can see it's open, and you pull your beadwork into the cavity there, and when you've got your knot secured, you just close the clamshells and it's finished. Each kit comes complete with 9 16-inch strands of spider wire. And you start out taking 3 strands and attaching them to your needle so that you can attach the bead cap at the end. Okay, once you have separated the 3 strands that you're going to use to create your first multi-strand, open your needle. I prefer to use the big eye because they're so easy to work with, and you can fit all 3 strands in them without a huge major hassle. And this is only temporary, just long enough to get the bead tip secure on the other end. Now, one helpful hint when using the bead tips is to seed a seed bead through, and that will actually rest in the cavity of the bead tip so that it gives it some more substance to secure it better. And once you've strung the bead on, then go through it again, and this will help to secure it within the bead cap. Now you're going to pull it down, not too far, because you want to have enough room and enough line on the end to knot it. So that's about good. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but the bead is secured on there. Next, I am going to bring the bead cap on, and you can see how it will come up and swallow that bead and the knot. But first I need to tie the knot. Now, since there are 3 strands, you will pair 2 strands at a time to help create a secure knot, and I recommend using a surgeon's knot that is more secure for finishing your work. So I'll do the loop there, and knot it, and then I'll separate it and do that one as 2 strands. And you just keep knotting it until you're secure, or you feel secure that you've got a knot that's not going to go anywhere. Okay, I've got my knot, and for added security you can use GS Hypo Cement to seal the knot so that you won't have any problems with it slipping out, and just adds an extra level of security. I know I like to use it just to be on the safe side. The neat thing about GS Hypo Cement, other than it's a fast drying cement, is the precision applicator that allows you to apply the precise amount of glue that you need at the precise spot. So you can seal the knot, wait about 10 minutes for it to set up. It really dries very quickly, and then you can go on with the rest of the piece. Once the glue has dried, you can go ahead and cut the remaining excess strands. I like to use a thread burner. It cuts through or melts through the thread very quickly, and it gives a nice tight edge, and you don't have to worry with the scissors not quite cutting through each time. Alright, now that the thread is trimmed, the knot is all ready, the glue is sealed, you're going to pull your bead cap back up, and you see how it sits in there very nicely. Just take a pair of pliers and close the bead cap. And there. You can't see the knot, and it's secure. That extra seed bead in there is going to keep it from pulling through the end, and you've got a nice finish. You'll do this 2 more times to get the other 2 3-strand sets going, and now you're ready to start stringing. This bracelet is a 9-strand bracelet. Each of the 9 strands has a separate pattern alternating with crystals and rocales, or rocales and smaller rocales. Each beaded section is 7 inches. When you add the length with the bead cap and attaching the clasp, and then do the twisting later in the pattern, the overall bracelet length is 7.5 inches. But for now, you will need to bead 7 inches on each of these beaded strands. Included in the kit will be a diagram explaining what crystals and rocale combinations are used on each of the individual strands, but I'll go over it quickly right now. The first strand is the Amethyst AB, and alternating one of the small rocales every other until the end. The second one is alternating one small rocale and one large rocale until the end. The third one is alternating the light amethyst crystal with 2 of the smaller rocales all the way through. The next strand is 2 of the small rocales and 2 of the larger ones alternating all the way through. The middle strand is using the matte amethyst crystals and 3 of the rocales alternating. The next strand is alternating 2 of the small rocales, 2 of the larger, and then the next strand has the amethyst crystals with 2 alternating rocales. And the next strand has 1 small rocale, 1 large rocale. And then the last strand is the light amethyst AB with 1 alternating rocale in between. And that makes up all 9 strands. 5 of them are crystal, and alternating between each crystal strand is a rocale combination strand.